Welcome in. Today, we are back with another On Topic. That's where Nicole and Stephanie talk about one thing for as long as it takes to fire hose everything that we have known, come to know, asked about, researched, tips, quips, and everything else you might need. And to this week's topic, this video's topic is gratitude.
Gratitude.
We hope you're going to love it. You better sit down for this one because it is good. You are looking at one of the best sellers on Amazon for a gratitude journal. And it ain't me, peeps.
New release.
It ain't
New
me.
release.
Okay, well, bestseller, done. Amazon bestseller. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is my book. That is my book recommendation.
Okay, good. Okay, well, we
My
won't
own.
get ahead of ourselves. So did you bring a quote then for this week's topic?
I do. I have a quote. It is, "The grateful heart is not developed in a single moment. It is the result of 1,000 choices," by Pete Wilson.
1,000 moments, 1,000 choices, 1,000 minutes, everything. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I love that one. I brought one from the Zig Ziglar.
Oh yeah, Big Z.
Gratitude is the greatest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for.
For sure.
I just liked how we put the mirror right in the middle of that quote, and it was the same on one side as it was on the other. The more you express it, the more you'll have more to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, makes sense. All right, and today's episode is brought to you by
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. 365 days of expressing gratitude and appreciation with the one you love.
Oh my gosh, by the one, the only On Topic, my co-host, BFF, mentor, Nicole Morrison.
Yes.
Amen. If you don't have a copy yet, please go change the way that you look at your day, your spouse, your kids, your whomever, your mailman,
Yourself. Whoever.
yourself. Get one of every for every person that you have in your life. It is super inexpensive, and it's just such an amazing way to practice gratitude, which you're gonna learn more about today. So
Yes, and there'll be a link in the
buckle
description
up.
below.
All right. True to force, today I brought two books because one of them I read a long time ago, which really opened a lot of different doors for me. And that was Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, Viktor Frankl,
Viktor
yes.
Frankl. And then do you know what popped up in my e-news? A little note from Mike Dooley.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote the foreword for the book by Ivan Nasa, The Power and Magic of Gratitude. And so it was a bestseller in Italy, and it was just transcribed into English.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a good one, especially since Mike likes it.
Yeah.
Whew.
I'm gonna have to check that one out. I'm not familiar with that, but yeah, Man's Search for Meaning. It was probably the only book in high school or college that I was assigned to read, and I read. Because I wasn't a reader then.
Right.
I don't think I was a reader until I was 26. And so, but that book I read, and it's just, it's good.
It's deep. And so you read it early in life, so did I. I was in college and it was assigned to me from a philosophy class. I didn't really like the paper writing on the other side because I wasn't really good at looking inside yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the book is I have a copy everywhere, and I got the audiobook. So
Nice.
okay, what you got? Bring it to me.
I do want to mention two podcasts too before we get going. And one is the Huberman Lab. It's called The Signs of Gratitude.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And I'm going to talk about that. They talk about the most effective way is receiving gratitude. So even more than having a gratitude journal or anything else is receiving it. That's where it's more effective. It changes more of your brain waves, all that kind of stuff is when you're the recipient of gratitude. And then the other one is Peter Attia Drive, episode number 288, The Impact of Gratitude, Serving Others, Embracing Mortality and Living Intentionally with Walter Green.
There you go.
That one's an hour and a half, but it is worth the listen. It's really good.
Okay, turn it on and start driving.
Yeah. So those
Okay.
will also be in the comments below.
Podcasts, quotes, books. No TED Talks today, but that's all right. We're gonna give you one. Do you
Well, actually,
know
Walter has a TED Talk, and I
he
haven't
does?
listened to it yet, but
Okay.
if it's good, we'll put that in there too.
Okay, well, we preview everything.
Yes. Oh, only share the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, do you got any stats about gratitude?
Boy, you know what? I do have stats, but I'm not sharing any today.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm switching it up a little bit.
Well,
Do you?
okay, how about I just have some science and then I have like the philosophy of it.
Okay.
Okay, so who wrote this study?
Probably Berkeley. Berkeley. It was at a college.
Berkeley's the leader. I can't find it
Yeah.
here off the top of my notes, but I learned that it can physiologically alter your brain. The study shows that it leads to increased activity in the hypothalamus. That's a part of your brain, hypothalamus. I am not a neurosurgeon, but what I found is, because that was my next question. Okay, well, what the heck is that? I'm reading a lot about the brain lately, by the way. It's the critical part of your brain that regulates an array of bodily functions like thirst, hunger, mood, and it directs the autonomic nervous system. And that system, which is directed by the hypothalamus, controls your heart rate, your blood pressure, and your digestion.
Yes.
So simply being grateful
Yes.
affects
They can see when they
all
do
of that.
MRIs and that kind of stuff, the effects of gratitude on your brain. That's how powerful it is.
Lasting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. If I haven't told you yet, the book that Nicole wrote, the journal that Nicole, it could change your life. It could change your brain. Right.
It's all about so the reason, well, let's go back to that for a second. The whole reason why I wrote it is because I wanted to do one of these for my wife, and I couldn't find one anywhere. So I made one. And it's so that every day you write down what you're grateful for or appreciate about the one you love, whether it's your child, your spouse, whatever, and then you share it with them.
Okay.
And how it changes things is it makes you look for the good. And so instead of always being frustrated with your friend or partner or spouse or whatever, instead of being frustrated with them or only seeing the negative, you start looking for and searching for the positive. And sometimes maybe it's hard, but it's always there. And so when you start looking at them differently, you start showing up differently in their life. And then it just becomes this back and forth win-win. And
Right.
so, yeah.
And what we learned is that it is it's equally, maybe a little bit more life-changing when you're receiving it.
Yes. So it literally shifts the brain and your heart circuits when you're receiving gratitude. And even if it's just reading it, like you can write down a moment when you received somebody express gratitude towards you.
Okay.
Write down the details of that moment.
Okay.
Get far into detail as you can. Smells, looks, people, who was there, what did they say? And then every time you reread that, it will have that same physiological effect on your life that you did in the moment when you received it or close to.
Okay.
That's how powerful receiving gratitude is.
Boom. If you take,
Boom.
we got probably another 10 minutes of really good stuff like that too. So awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. It makes so much sense. Did you know that I looked for a list on how to live the good life? And every single one said, be grateful,
Oh,
show
I'm sure.
gratitude,
Yeah.
practice gratitude daily. Not
Purpose,
one
gratitude.
list didn't have it on it. So that's
Yeah.
how powerful it is.
Yeah.
How
It's
many
big
people do you think, if you had to look at the 10 people in your life every day, are they all practicing gratitude?
Oh, no. I mean, for the most part, and the one of the important things about gratitude too is finding gratitude in the moments that aren't so great. Like I'm not going to name any moments in specific, but if some things didn't happen in my life that were, I think, tragic at the time, A, B, and C wouldn't have happened. So when you can take a wider view angle at
Right.
something and try to find the good in it, it just changes the way you look at life, and which in return changes the way you show up in life. And people who want to be around you. I mean, think about how you feel when you're around people who aren't positive or thankful and that kind of stuff. It's draining
Yeah.
instead of fueling.
Yes. Okay, what's your next point?
Well, I was just going to go a little deeper into the benefits. So,
Okay.
emotional, you're more relaxed, happier, resilient, optimistic. Your personality, people who are grateful who are less materialistic, they're less self-centered, and they have higher self-esteem. Health, people who practice gratitude have better sleep, less sick days, increased energy, and live longer. So these are all things that have been researched, proven, put out there. We're just sharing them with you. I didn't make it up. It impacts your career. So you have improved networking, you have higher goal achievement, and increased productivity. And then the last one is social benefit. You're kinder, you have more friendships, and you have deeper relationships.
Wow. That is the good life all right there.
There you go. And here's another key. So one, the most important thing is receiving. Make
Okay.
sure you receive it. But the other thing is make sure it's genuine. And so when you're sharing gratitude, there's a difference between being thankful
Okay.
and grateful. Thankful is a transaction. Thank you for doing my oil change.
Mm.
Um,
Thank you for holding
man,
open the door.
yep. Thank you for fitting me in last minute for my oil change. There's no way that I could have drove this trip I have next weekend without, so there's a transactional
Yeah.
thankfulness
Yeah.
and there's a deep gratitude. And so make sure that it's genuine, moving. Because when it's genuine, it's more long lasting. There's more feeling of connection, and there's just more benefits physically and emotionally.
Right. You got your grateful goggles on.
Yeah.
Okay, put them on. Okay, what else?
The other only thing I wanted to touch on was how we practice gratitude at home.
Okay, I'm gonna get to that. I have a couple of things on gratitude. I have a couple of things on gratitude, and that is that it's universal. That you can go to any other country, place in the world, even if you don't speak their language, they will understand your level of gratitude. Keep in mind, they will also understand everything else on the other side. So, but it is universal. Gratitude and practicing it is self-care at the highest level.
Big time, yeah.
No more excuses that you can't practice self-care because you can't go to the spa. Okay?
Spa isn't self-care.
Sit down,
That's a treat.
do some gratitude. And then you mentioned it before, it's not just for the good times. Wow, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And please hold. I think that the people who get the most out of gratitude, and obviously using the tools like we mentioned before, but you have to make it a foundational perspective. You have to look at the world through those gratitude goggles, especially if you're coming from that place like you talked about before, where everything always awful happens to me. You got to work a little bit harder to flip that script. And then it can manifest as increased resilience, generosity, and then it catapults your life's purpose and value simply by practicing that deep gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this should be a class in school.
Right?
This should be the first 10 minutes of right after you come back from lunch, before you sit down for dinner. I mean, a lot of us say the dinner prayer, like incorporate some gratitude in there and then, build it into the habit, which goes right into how you practice gratitude, Nicole.
Yeah. So one now, as of January 30th, is the book. writing in there each day, things that I'm grateful for. We have a gratitude jar. So
Ah,
we put things in there that we're grateful for so that we can go back and pull it out and read it. At Halloween time, Halloween to Thanksgiving, or until the pumpkin gets soft, we always get a pumpkin, a real one. And every time we sit down together at dinner, we write what we're all grateful for, and it just circles around the
ah,
pumpkin. And so
I
that's really
love
fun.
that.
And we sit and read it, and the kids do it when Nate's there or his girlfriend comes over, she joins in too. And we
Okay.
just write what we're grateful for each night.
I mean, can you
And
think
then
about that like a community pumpkin
yeah,
where you just set at the mailbox and you just
yeah,
write things on it?
yeah.
Thank you for picking up your dog poop. No, wait, that's a
Should
thank
be
you.
mural.
Okay,
We should make a
I'm grateful.
gratitude mural.
You make a gratitude mural.
Yeah. And you could do it with chalk, and
Okay.
it washes off so that it's always that's going to be my next project. I want to see where
Hmm.
I can put a gratitude mural up.
Okay, I love
I
it.
have a few connections in that area. So yeah. And then we did a 5-year bullet journal. So it was all 5 years on one page. And so every year we could read the past year. And one day I'm like, I wrote too cold to be grateful. I'm grumpy, period. You got to have those days too, I guess. But
Yeah, well, those are the days that require
yeah.
the most
Yeah.
effort in being grateful. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard, right? Is that what feedback you're getting from the people who have bought your journal?
Yeah. 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 Some people are like, I really got to dig deep. And I'm like, you know what? That's good.
Okay.
Because you're seeing things how they are then. Because sometimes
Oh,
we live in these little rosy glasses and don't
so I was
realize that,
thinking
oh,
like, everything, or maybe like, ooh, it's a new windshield.
yeah, yeah.
Because now you're physically going out trying to find that thing, and then it's maybe not there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oopsies.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Sorry about that. Well, let's end it on a down note. All right, so get the book and see and see how good you are at practicing gratitude. There we go.
Awesome. And one thing I'll throw in there too about when we learn in ULA is high-low lesson. And
Okay.
so we do that sometimes when we're all together for supper too. And so you can say, what was the high of your day? What was the low of your day? And what was the lesson from your low? And so, and that's kind of finding the gratitude in that low. So that's something you can do with your kids, easy. Dr. Dave talked about how him and his kids would sit down each night and do that, and um, some really good memories from that. And so we've implemented that too. So
All
there you
right.
go.
That's it for today's on-topic session where we give you everything we know and think you should know about gratitude. Changes your brain, change your life. Order the journal.
Order the journal. And then at the end of the journal, there's a link to my website for a bunch of gratitude downloads.
Okay. So
There
get
you
all
go.
the way through there and then go get those downloads.
Yeah. But
Perfect. Thanks so
all
much for
right.
watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.